Welcome back to the Capoeira Experience podcast. Thank you so much for spending some time with us and letting us light up that motivation to keep pushing your capoeira trainings and for tuning in. Train hard, stay motivated, and bring your shit to the Hoda. Bring it on. Let's roll. What's up, Capoeira Nation? Welcome back to the Capoeira Experience podcast. This is your host, Instructor Kashishi from Capoeira Barcel, Indianapolis. And if this is our first time you're here in the podcast, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is a podcast where we just talk about positivity in the capoeira community, how to learn from other people's experience, how to grow our capoeira, and how we can learn to grow our capoeira. You know, how to improve our movement, how to improve our skills, how to improve our school, how to help our school, and how to help our capoeira community, you know, to grow strong and to learn from each other's experience, to go positive and grow from there. Don't get stuck on the past, and you know, just grow, holding each other's hand to go forward and to go for a better future for us. So I was thinking the other day, you know, how can I support my mastery? You know, how can I support the person that is leading me? And then I was like, wait, how, as a student, how I used to support my instructor by then? And then I came back to analyze what I used to do as a student and now what I do as instructor. So the purpose of this episode is to how you can support your capoeira school, you know, to grow, to get better, to learn, and to help your instructor, your professor, your contramestre or formando or mestre in your capoeira community or your capoeira school, pretty much. So I think when I was a student, the way how I used to support my school back then in Venezuela, where I'm from, the first thing I used to do is just show up. You know, show up in the class, show up to train, be there for class all the time. I think the only time I missed classes is when I broke my hand, and I missed trainings, but I still was going to class to give my energy to the Hoda. So I pretty much I never missed a class, but I missed trainings, but not a class. If that makes sense. Does that make sense? I hope so. But so, and I always was up to date with my payments. I never had any of my instructors come to me and be, hey, Kajishi, you gotta pay. But sometimes I used to pay 2-3 months in advance, so I can forget about that. But by then it was super cheap. Speaking in Venezuela, right? So now as instructor, I see everything completely different. Completely different. Just the fact of my students showing up to class, it brings me up, it brings me light to my day, and it makes me happy to see them coming in through the door, you know, see their smiles, see their faces when they're learning. Trust me, it's a feeling really nice when I'm explaining a movement and they get in that movement and they learn in that moment. Man, the satisfaction of seeing students grow and learn, understand their body, how the body works, how you can move different ways, is a really cool thing to see and to presence, so it would be three things that I my personal opinion, I would say that would be for uh, to how you can support your capoeira school, and once again, like I mentioned before, the first one I would say, my number one, I would say showing up to class is the best thing you can do as a student, and this will give a motivation to that person teaching the class and give that energy back, because they are also investing their time. They're also uh, not doing something to teach you. Of course, they're coming to teach you because they want to. It's their choice, of course, but and because it's fun. I like sharing information with people. I love going to class and feed up with that energy. I think it's really cool, like I mentioned before. But it's a reciprocal, I think is the word. So it's a cycle. Me as instructor give the energy, you as a student give me energy, and then once again, and then so on, and that's what the ashe means, right? Or that energy means. And then that way you can support your instructor in that way, because it's very important for us to see people in class, to come into class. The second thing I want to say, I don't know, what do you think? Today's day is hard because there's a lot of people without jobs, which is the second thing will be stay up to date with your monthly payments, with supporting your instructor. Sometimes, like myself, I want to teach in a paid space. I'm gonna move this screen. Okay, teach on a paid space that I rent the space and I pay. But also, if of course, this is on the scenario if you have a job, of course. And if you have a job during the virus, since it started, let's just put it at that scenario, okay? And then I forgot what I was saying. Okay, so supporting your instructor with those payments, because let's say if people are paying their studios, like I don't have a studio, I don't own a studio, I don't own my space where I teach, but I rent by hour there, and so that means I have to pay the hour. So that way, your payment support the hour. But also, there's teachers or mestres that they own the studio, and by you paying them, that will support the studio. That support that base them for you to have a place to go to train, for you to have a place to play in the hada, to go to learn, and that way you pay. That way you keep a school. If you pay, you keep that school, even if it is through Zoom classes, because then you giving value to your instructor for their time, for their knowledge. Remember, that instructor also travel, or that I'm mentioning instructor because I'm an instructor, but professors, mestres, they travel a lot. They have to buy uniform. They have to buy instruments. They have to buy beating bows. Those beating bows, atabaques, those atabaques that you play with. Someone gotta pay for that. And then by you paying in supporting your mestre in class, or whoever is teaching you, that will help them to buy those kind of stuff. And at the end of the day, that's on my perspective, that's their job, and their time and their information. If you go to school for 10, 20, 30 years, and then you go teach this, and at least a compensation back, it will be great. And there's no shame. There shouldn't be any shame for why to make money from our capoeira school, and why not? Why not? And the if now on the scenario, if you don't have a job, you know, communicate that to your instructor. Don't be afraid to talk to your instructor or your master and be like, hey, I'm out of job. I'm out of work. I'm not able to help you. I'm not able to pay you right now. But how can I help you? How can I give you back something? If I don't have a way, how if the instructor say like, don't worry about it. You don't have to give me anything back. Just show up. That's another way for you to give back to the instructor, because giving back that time, that effort of learning, wanting to learn, that's a very important thing for us, having someone there that wants to learn, so we can, because you have someone on this side that wants to teach. So I think that's a win-win. I think that's helpful. Just communicate. Nobody can read minds. Nobody. I haven't meet the first person that can read my mind. So because that doesn't happen yet, I have to talk to them and be like, hey, I don't have the money right now. I don't have the money to pay you. I don't have the money for me to pay you. But I can show up to class, and I'll bring more people. I'll bring more people that they probably can pay you. If they don't have a job, at least someone is in class, and at least someone can show up and support that school. And again, that comes back to the first point: showing up to class. It helps to keep us motivated to keep teaching. Is trust me, as an instructor and as a student is a completely different story. Once you are on this side, it's a completely different story. If you want to know, let's try to do this challenge. If you want to know how the instructor perspective, just ask your instructor, like, hey, do you mind me teaching a class one day? And then, but don't let them know, or don't ask them to let you know, if that makes sense. Just be like, hey, randomly they have me teaching a class or have me teach a class. So that way you just on the spot and you learn. Because sometimes we come to class and sometimes I don't write the class. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I think ahead. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just teach at the moment. Sometimes I see where my students are liking, so I train more that. Or sometimes I see where we need to practice, so we practice that. But show up, and show up. That will help your instructor, your maestro, or whoever, to stay motivated. That motivation is two ways. That relationship is two ways. And the last one, I think is also important, because that means everybody work together. Everybody come together for one. I'm gonna call it this way, for one main reason, which is having a lot of people in class, or whatever number that is for you, or for your instructor, for your maestro. But having people in class is, trust me, I've said this many times on other episodes, where I say, more people, more fun. Trust me, more fun is to have a lot of more people to train with, a lot of more people to do the harder. Trust me, is way different. 2 people, 2, 3, 5 people harder than a 10. Even I would say 8 people, 3, 4 more people to, let's say 8 people harder. It's a completely different 3 people, 4 people roda. Completely different energy. And then if you put more numbers, trust me, is super nice. Super nice. I remember, on the side note, I remember back in Venezuela, we used to be the group Raíces do Brasil back in Venezuela when I used to train there. The second, I think, I don't remember, but the second group, I'm gonna say the second group, biggest group in Venezuela. We one day we had a bachizado, only us, no guest people. The about 350 people in that bachizado. We were pretty big. I mean, it's probably no as big, but man, it was all day bachizado. Trust me, we used to start the bachizado at 10 in the morning, and we finished the bachizado at like 8 p.m. Only bachizado. Of course, by bachizado it means bachizado en troca y costa, and level up. But those hodas are awesome. We had I remember we did a hoda where it was probably 80 people. Probably it was a huge hoda. Was a lot of people playing. It was a lot of capoeira. It was really cool. The hoda was for like an hour or something like that. And an hour is like a little, just probably like an hour and a half, something like that, just the hoda. And the energy was great the whole time. But so help spreading the voice will be the last. Did I mention it? I don't remember. But help spreading the voice for your instructor, your instructor or the person teaching. 2 people, 3 people, 5 people, 8 people talking about capoeira, it can reach more ground than one person. For example, if I have my hand up, I can cover more space than when I have one finger up. So that's how that works. That how can help spreading the voice and spreading the information, and be like, hey, to your neighbor, you know what I do? I do capoeira, man. That's so cool. You should try. Come to class. The number is blah blah blah, or the website is blah blah blah. Come to class. First class is free, if your instructor offer, of course. But here in Indianapolis, first class is free. Come check it out. It's fun. You're gonna have fun. You're gonna have a lot of fun. You're going to learn a lot of stuff that you have no idea that you could do, and dominate that, and learn how to move your body. So to recap, is going to be coming to class, showing up, of course, always be present. Always be present. Be up to date with payment if you don't have the job, because of course the virus, at least right now. But when you get a job, help the instructor. And if you have a job, help the instructor with whatever money they ask for the month. If you don't have the job, ask them, communicate to them, help them to build a class up. And the second one is again connected with the first one and the third one. Spread the voice, and show up. All this is connected, like the Hoda. All of us are connected. So spread the voice, because more people is more fun, and more people is more energy, and more energy, trust me, the music is dope. Okay, so those are my 3 points for you to help, how to help you to grow, to support your instructor, to support your maestro, to support that capoeira school. Because when we invest in time and resources, sometimes we spend hours trying to do the website. Is if when it is one main show, that runs the whole thing. It's a lot of work. Social media. You got social media for the school. You got the website for the school. You got videos for the school, and you got the school, and you got the class, right? And if you have 5 people, there's 5 people in the class, and it's fun. Don't get me wrong, it is fun to do this kind of stuff, but more people helping, more people on board. Trust me, the capoeira can grow faster. It can grow faster, and it's more fun with more people. Once again, everything is connected, man. So don't forget, don't forget, don't forget, don't forget. Show up, come to class, even to Zoom class. Show up on Zoom class. Stay up to date with payments. If you don't have the payment, ask how you can help. If the instructor don't have anything for you to help, again, number one, show up. Show up to class all the time. Especially if you are getting the chance. If you have the job, just communicate to them again. How can I help you? Remember, I still can pay you. It's okay. Okay. So communication is always on any relationship, and helping spreading the voice. Helping spreading the voice will help the entire capoeira community in your community grow faster and grow bigger. Bigger is always better, right? So make sure you're stay tuned for everything else in the future. Please, if you are new to the podcast, subscribe and share with one friend, at least one friend. If you are listening to this right now, share with one friend. Please, please, please. I know there's people watching the YouTube channel. So if you are watching the YouTube channel, please like the video, comment, because I know you are watching. I see people that is watching, I'm watching you. So subscribe, come on, man, give me some love. I need to see who is there. Again, show up. Just one subscribe and one like is going to motivate me, and that will let me know that you watch the video. So please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow on the Instagram, like on Facebook. Stay tuned. But the most important thing of the whole thing, be positive. Be positive and more positive and more positive, especially with yourself. Be positive, and be positive. So come to class, show up, help your instructor, and spread the voice. That's it. 3 easy points. All right. Thank you so much for listening to this episode today. I hope you liked it. Again, subscribe and spread the voice. All right. This is your host, Instructor Kashishi from Capoeira Brazil, Indianapolis, signing out. Peace. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. My goal with this podcast is to inspire you to push your trainings and to help you to understand how awesome capoeira is for us. Help me to spread the positivity by sharing this episode with one friend, 2 friends, or anyone, so we can inspire more and more and more and more people. Thank you so much again. Don't forget to subscribe. I will see you in the next roda. Keep the greatness. Ashe.